Hey guys, welcome back to Sad Dad. My name's Dave Abkary and I am a comedian out of Fresno, California, and this is a podcast where I sit down with my fellow funny friends, my fellow comedians, and we talk about dads. Hi. Happy Valentine's Day. That's it. Yeah, I hope maybe you have some cool plans. I don't. I'm going to Merced, California for Valentine's Day to host a comedy show at a barbecue place. So, stand-up comedy. Yeah. I'm not one of those like curmudgeon-y guys about like those edgelords about Valentine's Day. Like, it's just a Hallmark holiday. It's not even a real holiday. I don't know. Look, man. Look. It's kind of nice when you're in a relationship to like have a great excuse to hang out together. You know, show some appreciation to one another. Put on, you put on your fancy clothes. You go to, I don't know, Outback. Go to Outback and get a bloomin' onion, and get a tummy ache from that. And then you come home and then you eat a bunch of gross Valentine's Day candy together. And I don't know, I'm just talking so funny all of a sudden together. And you eat a bunch of gross candy and you watch I don't know, like some documentary, on Netflix, and then you like fall asleep, and then you have a real bad tummy ache and you can't even fool around because your tummy hurts too much. That sounds like a great evening to me. And so if you're one of those people, more power to you. I when I was in a relationship, I loved those excuses. And if you're not in a relationship and you hate Valentine's Day, that's okay too. Just do you. You can still eat that candy. You can still go get a bloomin' onion. You can do that. So anyway, oh man, there's another dad podcast that's coming out pretty soon. He's doing the same thing that I do, where he talks to people about their dads. I don't think he's released it yet. I had a few people message me about that. Look, I don't own the concept of dads. Turns out dads were a thing before my podcast came around. I don't know. But I thought about, like, maybe we could have, like, a dad rivalry. Or maybe I'm a guest on his show, he's a guest on my show. I don't know. There's no way his theme music is going to be better than mine, So, I got that. Oh, man, I watched that movie 8th Grade, that Bo Burnham movie about the girl in 8th grade. I mean, nothing really, like, happens. It's just about a girl in 8th grade. But, I think I'm too old. I think I'm too old, and also having a daughter of my own. Like, I don't think I watched the movie the way I was supposed to. Like, the whole time I was just relating to the dad. I mean, this dude's just trying really hard, and his daughter's just kind of shitting all over him. If you're a dad watching that movie, it's a straight up, like, horror movie. It is, I mean, Hereditary and the Babadook have nothing on 8th grade if you're a dad to a daughter. It's terrifying. I don't know. I digress. I digest. I got a great guest for you today. Her name is Shanna Christmas. She's so fun. We had I didn't get to hang out with her as much as I wanted to, just because I was super busy the week that she was in town. So, and it was also super cold. Like, it was so cold the nights that she was in Fresno. I felt bad about that. And we were hanging out. We did a show in which she headlined the show. I hosted the show, and then came back. She was crashing with me, and we recorded this Sad Dad. It's super late, and I had to be up super early the next day. But it's actually, I listened back to it today. It's a great episode. Shauna's so fun. She's a great guest. There's some background noise because it was so cold. I had to leave the space heater running while her and I were doing this episode. So I apologize for that. So yeah, we're going to jump into it right now. I will say stick around for the outro. I won't hold you hostage. Just a couple of housekeeping things I'm going to go over with you guys. And let's do this, guys. Here we are, Shanna Christmas. Yeah, it'll probably make for some like extra noise, but
oh, would it?
It's okay though.
Oh, the hater or my blanket?
I think it's worth it. No, your blanket will be fine.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my blanket making noise. I was like, shit, I'm not gonna be moving around too
No,
much.
it seems like a quiet blanket.
I didn't know what was about the heater. Do you want to turn it off?
No, I think it'll be fine. I think they can deal with it. It's extenuating circumstance. It's really cold. It's really cold. Can you talk into your microphone? Yeah, you can put those on.
Hello?
If you want. You don't have to, but you can.
Oh, but if I put them on, can I hear you?
Yeah.
But I can hear you out here too?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Because sometimes I like the experience.
Yeah, it kind of puts you in like a little like podcast bubble, you know?
Like I'm doing something.
You're doing something.
I'm a part of something. Oh, yeah, it totally sounds like a podcast.
Yeah. Check. 1 2 1 2. How's that?
Oh, I
that
think it's backwards. Whatever.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Check.
Yeah.
I got
Good.
I got my blanket.
Uh-huh.
I'm very excited.
I'm going to turn you up just a little bit.
I'm very excited about my... Oh, yeah, I can totally hear the thing in the back. Like,
Yeah.
It's like Cardi B.
Maybe we'll turn it off later if it gets...
Oh,
You had such a great set tonight.
You think so?
You were so funny.
I felt like I was all over the place tonight.
Well, you were, but it was good. It was what that room demanded.
It was like, I don't know what's going on.
Was that guy's name really Kane?
I don't know. I didn't catch that whole part when he was having the thing with Liam. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. He was really nice. I talked to him after the show. He was like, I had so much fun.
Yeah, he was literally chatty though. I was like, shut up.
He was.
He's like, I'm helping.
Yeah. You're so interactive with your audiences. I love it.
Oh, it depends on the audience.
Sure.
But I was excited to see a lot of older people there because I'm like, this is my demographic.
Yeah.
If I can make these old farts laugh, I'm doing okay.
Do you find that like you play well to like audiences that like wouldn't expect to? You know what I mean? Like you had a really old white audience there, and like that seemed to like fuel your like you were.
I think it's I'm so used to dealing with them. I'm never like surprised that I can kind of connect with them.
Yeah.
But I do think I might try a little bit more to make them like me.
Yeah.
If that's the right word. I think there's like this underlying thing of like, I represent something you might have, preconceived notions about.
Right.
Like, I'm going to destroy those for you.
Because it was so funny because like I mean, like you thrive in that environment, and like I literally had comics that were talking to me before the show. They're like, "Oh, it's so many like old white people. Like I don't even know how I'm gonna." And it's
you
like,
mean your grandma? Like you don't know how to talk to people who look like you? That's weird.
Whereas you're like the complete opposite, where you're like, "Oh yeah, this is like I like
Fuck
this."
yeah, because the biggest shock for people is always like these old people are fucking. It's like they were at a comedy show, by the way, and they were one lady had like purple hair, and the other lady was there with her son. She had her titties almost out. Like these are not like old people in the sense. These are like people that were hip, and they're still hip.
Right, and they're out on a Tuesday night.
And they were drinking. Like it's always a shock to people. It's like they curse. It's like they're people.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's like your day job? Do you feel like that comes from like your day job?
It definitely helps because I talk to them so much, and they're always like, "Thank you for talking to me like I'm a person."
Right.
Because sometimes you get people that go in there like, "Hey, honey," and "Sweetie." It's like, no, dude, that's not your honey.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's gotta be rough sometimes though, because you're seeing like people in the twilight of their life. Like, was that like hard at first when you were?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
even now, sometimes you get connected with some people and then they pass away, and you're like, oh, yeah. Sometimes it still gets like that.
Yeah, that's rough. And you do it all over the place because you travel to do it. How'd you get into all that?
I don't know. When I heard there was a job that let you go all over the place, I was like, yeah, that's my spirit. Yeah, I'm always just like trying to see what else is up. What's over there? What's up over there? What's that? What's going on in Hobbs, New Mexico? Turns out a lot of shit.
Really?
Hobbs is really fun. I had a lot of fun in Hobbs.
What's happening in Hobbs?
I don't know. We found some. I don't know. I have this weird kind of thing about just going places that are different and just seeing what it is.
Yeah.
Because we don't get to do that, especially as Americans. They don't really encourage you to travel to other countries, let alone outside of your little bubble.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that today, like, because I did a bunch of driving today. And like, I mean, everything, like out west is so far apart. Like, you know, like you have to drive wherever you're going. And like, I mean, but you grew up in like Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
And which is, I mean, except with the exception of the city itself, it seems almost like the middle of nowhere.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, overhead like shots of it when you're coming in from out of town on a plane. You're like, yo, it's nothing over. It's like it's lit up town and then just dirt around it. Like they just built a town in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's weird.
I mean, what was growing up in Las Vegas like though? Like
Normal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you don't know you live in Las Vegas until you're much older.
Sure.
And for me, I was always kind of flip-flopped. It was like I assumed everybody was going to Circus on the weekends because I thought we all had a circus. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We didn't know
that
we lived in that place. And then I got around like 18 and I would hear like commercials on the radio about Puff Daddy's coming to this club for this convention. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Why are people always coming here?
Yeah.
There's nothing going on.
It's wild.
And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. I live in Las Vegas.
Yeah, you're in the middle of it all.
You watch every movie and you're like, people come here and do that? Really?
Yeah.
But you don't know. You're as a kid, you go to school, you go to church, you go to work, whatever. You're home when the streetlights come on. It's pretty much a regular ass childhood, you know. And then you go to the strip and you do the circus thing, and then you go home, and then you realize a little bit later that you're like, oh, we live in the middle of like a crazy place. Yeah. But you don't have to do it. You can do Vegas if you want to, but just stay home and not have to deal with Vegas at all. It's very like the best of both worlds, really.
Right.
Even with like the mountains, like we have places you can go snowboarding and stuff. We can see snow if we want to. You can go and have like a snow weekend and then drive away from it and just be normal.
Right.
So Vegas is like, I don't feel like being bothered with people. You just don't go.
Yeah.
It's not like it's always around you, like in New York. There's tourists everywhere in New York.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no like one place that you can find tourists. They're like in Brooklyn, they're everywhere.
Sure.
Yeah.
But in Vegas, it's all
just a strip.
Around it. Yeah, yeah.
It's a strip in downtown.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
they're not.
nice.
You're not gonna see them at your grocery store.
For the rest,
they don't think you have grocery stores.
Because why would you go to a
They'll
grocery
say,
store?
where do you guys live? It's like in homes. People still think we live on the strip. It's like when you guys come, where do we sleep?
Sure.
It's this weird kind of idea about Vegas.
I mean, do you because you've been all over the country, like do you feel like there's a particular type of person that ends up living in Las Vegas, or is it just like anybody else, you just end up in this spot?
I've met a lot of people, especially in my line of work, where I'm like, what brought you to Las Vegas? And sometimes they're like, well, I had one lady who left, she got divorced and she just came to Vegas by herself, and I was like, in 1950 something?
Whoa.
You could do that? She's like, no, but
you couldn't in Vegas.
I also think the opportunities in Vegas in terms of like jobs, back in the day it was all hotels and stuff like that and nightclubs. Sure. There's a lot of jobs you can still have.
Right.
Depending on what you want to do. We have a lot of entertainment that people come here for.
Gotcha.
But in terms of people coming and moving, I don't know. I was born there, so I'm not sure what circumstance. Maybe you come and become someone else. Sometimes people go to Vegas and hide.
Yeah. I mean, did you grow up with like a lot of like second and third generation Vegas people? Is that like kind of how it was, where maybe their parents or their grandparents had some crazy backstory, but no?
No, I feel like for me and just my friends from like when I was a kid, we're like the only ones we know that were like born there for like our little time period.
That's wild.
And for sometimes I'm the first person people meet from Vegas. Yeah. Still, I'm like, how am I still your first? Like we have a lot of kids that are born there now, but they're all like babies.
Yeah.
You're not gonna run into them in the places that I go, but
and it's such a like I didn't realize, so it's massive. Like you guys have like 1 million people, right? It's like
we have a lot of people. I don't know how many. I don't know the numbers. But
it's something like because like Fresno's big. Like we have 500,000 people, and but I saw Vegas recently. I think I was watching like an Anthony Bourdain something, and there were like 1 million people. I was like, holy fuck.
Well, there was a time period when the housing boom was going on. There was 3,000 people moving there every month.
Jeez,
and we couldn't keep up with them. Like anytime it rained, it would flood everywhere because the streets weren't done.
Right.
Because we were trying to keep up with all the people coming in, and then everything stopped.
Right.
But the cost of living is cheap. It's close to LA. There's no state taxes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons people come to Vegas for those reasons, but everything kind of came to a halt. So I'm not sure how many people are still there.
Yeah.
But now we have a hockey team and a football team coming. And
so
now they're all coming. So it's going to be more people that I don't want.
I actually, in fairness, like I've only ever heard the California side of that. Like, oh, the fucking Raiders are leaving.
Yeah.
Go to Vegas. Like, but how does Vegas feel about the Raiders?
I don't want them.
No.
I mean, I've always been excited about not knowing what it's like to grow up caring about football.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I'm from Oakland. I have to be a part of. I'm like, I don't. Listen, they all come to Vegas at some point. I've met someone from every team in Vegas, right? playoffs happen, whoever loses in Vegas the next weekend.
Uh-huh.
I've met Titans, I've met Niners, I've met everybody in Vegas. So we don't need you to be here for me to care. I don't care. I don't care. Buy me something. I'm so sorry you guys lost. Are you popping bottles? Like, I don't. I don't care about any of that. So I think it's. And Oakland, the Raiders have moved around a lot, right? They were LA Raiders, right?
LA and then Oakland and then. They were Oakland, LA, and then Oakland again.
Yeah.
It's probably something else before that.
I guess people in Vegas do like that they're coming. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like Vegas had its own kind of thing where we could be a part of the gambling and a part of the sports world, but not really be a part of it.
Sure.
So you don't have to like worry about traffic. Ugh.
Yeah.
All those people come and watch games in Vegas. They don't have to be at the stadium. They come and watch games in their little sports books. They have enough. They get enough money at the sports book. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We don't need the stadium.
Right.
But I mean, I guess it's going to be cool. I don't know. I feel like any team in Vegas is going to have a hard time going to practice. My biggest concern is like, how are you going to keep the Raiders indoors?
Yeah.
During like the season.
Right.
You have to have like a hall monitor or something. Like you need to go to bed.
Yeah.
And the stadium's right down the street from everything. It's by Mandalay Bay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's fucking.
It's right off the strip. It's
Holy
crazy.
Shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're building it right behind Mandalay Bay.
Wow.
So it's like you got all the holes. The holes are going to be everywhere. And that's my biggest concern is the hoes because they're very good. And these dummies with this money, they're so dumb. They're going to come out there and be trying to be cool and popping bottles at Dre's, whatever, and they're going to get caught. They're going to get fucking... They're not going to win very many games is what I feel like is going to happen.
It can't be conducive to a professional sports
team. That would be really
team.
bad. I mean, we have the hockey team, but that's different. You know,
Sure.
they're a little bit more disciplined, I guess.
That and who wants to party with a hockey player?
I mean, also, you don't even know who they are.
Who
it's
is
not
your
a big
hockey
enough sport in America for us to care. Like, we have our own team, and we're like a really good team.
What team?
The Golden Knights?
Nope.
That's the Las Vegas Golden Knights who went to the Stanley Cup Finals their first season last year.
Holy shit! Nope.
Yeah.
That doesn't even.
First
register.
season went to the finals.
That's impressive.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But if I saw one, I wouldn't know who they were.
Some Chad.
Yeah, just some Chad. But I've seen hockey players at the pool parties and stuff during the summer, and they bring the Stanley Cup with them, and they put champagne in it, and they fucking turn up.
What?
But even then, I'm like, you guys are just rave looking ass dudes. Like, I'm not like trying to get your money.
Yeah, right.
I'll drink with you for sure, but I'm not like, I want to mate with his hockey. Whatever. Like I'm
hockey money.
I mean, I don't even know if it is. It might be a lot of money.
Maybe.
They dress really nice.
Sure, that's
they have really nice suits.
I mean, it's all in Canadian dollars, so that's worthless. So.
Not in Las Vegas.
Well, you started comedy in Vegas.
I did, yeah.
What's the Vegas? Because I think you're my first guest that's ever, my first comic from Vegas that's ever been a guest. What's the Vegas comedy scene like?
It's trash.
Okay.
No. There are a few people that are good people. There are a few shows that are good shows.
Sure.
But for the most part, it's not good.
Okay.
That's why I always leave, because I'm like, you do enough of the local shows and you can't get on the strip, so you have to leave. I think I was like a year and a half, 2 years in comedy, and I was already at the strip, at the Laugh Factory, and all those places. Like, how do I get in here?
Yeah.
I was asking questions. I'm trying to figure out what's next, and they're just kind of like, we don't book locals here.
That's shitty.
Or if we do, it's like not you. Who knows? But even still, people I've known doing comedy 8-10 years still haven't been booked at any of the local casinos.
Wow, that's lame.
They fly them in. I don't know if it's because they're not motivated or if they just don't like. I don't know. There's no like bridge. There's no like. It's like in high school, you've got your freshmen and then you have your seniors. There's no in between.
Huh.
It's really weird.
That is weird. Is it a big scene? Like, is it?
No. I mean, no, not really. No. When I first started, I felt like it was big, but I was new.
Sure.
And you kind of feel overwhelmed when you're like, oh, there's a mic and a show and this and that.
Yeah.
And then there was like a few people that were running shows like every night, and then he became a crazy Trump supporter, and they were like, we don't like this dude, and so now he doesn't run very many shows anymore.
Sure.
And then I guess there was a lot going on before, but now there's just a handful of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more open mics now, I guess. I don't know. Like I feel kind of removed from it
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I'll look up, like, is there a mic today? You go, and you're like, this is dumb. Like,
Is it a lot of like bar shows and stuff? Is that what it is? Or?
No. Bar shows. Not really a lot of bar shows.
Mm-hmm.
There's like one show at this little theater downtown that's cool. There's another show at this, like, a little theater, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like some cool venues at least.
But yeah.
I don't know. You and I talked, like, it's been kind of a bummer. I've been so busy the last couple of days. Like, you and I haven't gotten to hang out as much as I wanted. But we did start to talk a little bit about it, I think yesterday. What for you, like, you and I parallel each other in that we didn't know we wanted to be stand-up comedians. Mm-hmm. And so what was that moment like for you when you're like, oh, shit, like...
I've always been funny, unfortunately. I got class clown in high school. My mom was like, that is not an honor. Like, she is not proud of that at all. She's like, that means you're not going to be in it. Like, whoa, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm good. I got good grades still. I was a goofball, but I still got good grades. I'm going to be something.
Sure.
Maybe not a comedian. At the time, I didn't think about that, but I've always been a funny person. Mm-hmm. And I remember being in LA and everybody's like, you should try comedy. And I'm like, hell no, man. You look at comedians and they're on stage by themselves, and they're in this big fucking theater and there's all 1,000 seats of people, and you're like, you have to make those people laugh. Yeah. You know how bold you have to be?
From nothing.
Yeah. And laughing at what you think is funny.
Right. It's not like you're like riffing off of somebody else said.
And so to me, I was like, I could never do that. It's so scary. But something was like, just try it. At least, even with my height, I'm 6'3". People are like, play basketball. I'm like, I don't like it. I know I don't like it. I'm like, but try it. I'm like, all right. Went to one practice in the 6th grade. I was like, I told you I hated it. And so I just did it because people kept asking me to do it.
Yeah.
So with comedy, was like, okay, I'm just going to try it and see if I like it.
Yeah.
And I remember doing an open mic. My first mic was at Sapphire Strip Club in Las Vegas, the world's largest strip club. They have a little showroom that's separate from the hoes. I mean, the strippers. I'm sorry. Some of them are hoes, though. Let's be honest.
No, that's real.
Yeah. But it's separate from the strippers, and they do like male reviews in there, and they have a comedy show on Saturday and open mic on Thursday.
Sure.
And so I go in there and I do 3 minutes, and halfway through my set, I had a moment where I was like, I'm supposed to be up here.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
And I killed my 3 minutes. I did not bomb like most people do their first time. I actually didn't bomb for a few months. I was really cocky.
You're like, oh, I'm one of those comics that just doesn't bomb.
I'm good. I'm
cool.
so good.
Yeah.
And then I bombed, and I was like, I'm not doing comedy ever again.
Yeah.
I think I took like 2 months off. I just wanted to hide.
Yeah.
I bombed so bad.
One of the nice things about bombing early is, because like that's a skill in and of itself, is just learning how to like just take that kick to the dick. And,
right.
Yeah.
But then I realized I bomb in certain rooms.
Sure.
And then it became a thing like, oh, if you don't laugh, it's because you guys suck. And I'm not one of those comics that's like, you got to win them over. Like sometimes people just don't like your humor.
Sure. You know,
I'm not gonna hump a stool to make you fuckers laugh.
Sure, yeah.
I'm gonna find maybe 10 people that like what I did, and then they'll come to my next show, and you guys can eat a dick.
Yeah.
But in particular rooms in Vegas where I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna go in here and do comedy because I want to do it.
Sure.
But I know it's gonna be a struggle.
Yeah,
and if you can beat those rooms, it's great. But I don't have an issue with silence.
Yeah.
I used to. But now it's like some comics are like, you just stand there, and when they're not laughing.
Yeah. You did that tonight?
You just go. Yeah, I think it's funny. Or maybe someone's thinking about it and they go, oh yeah, that is funny.
Well, yeah. Well, it wasn't during material, but there was at one point where some audience member said something just ridiculous.
You just gotta stare at them.
Yeah. It was so funny.
But some comics don't like that silence. They want to fill up all the spaces because they want to hear the laughs. It makes them feel really nervous. And they go, you don't give a fuck about them not laughing. I'm like, I do, but I also think what I'm saying might take a while.
Sure.
Depending on what it is, people are like, oh.
I mean, that's part of the thing with timing is you gotta like always remember the audience is usually like 2 to 3 beats behind you.
Yeah,
like and you gotta.
Or sometimes they know the punchline. You're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I gotta write a better joke. You should know. You should know what's coming.
You shouldn't be waiting for me when I get there.
Yeah.
That's funny. What was the point at which? Because you are on the road a lot. Like, what was what was the point where you're like, I gotta get out of here? Like I like this thing, I love this thing I'm doing, but like I gotta do it someplace else too. Like,
well, it was right after I went to Brad Garrett's comedy club and I met his brother Paul, who recently passed away last year.
Oh yeah.
But I went to a show. I think I knew one of the comics who was headlining, so I went and watched the show and I met Brad and I met his brother. And Paul was like, I really like you. And he goes, do you have any TV credits? And I was like, no. How do I get, what's that? You know what I mean? I'm 2 years in, I have no idea. Right. And he's never seen me tell any jokes. He just liked me as a person. I guess he had some good vibe, whatever going on. Because I'm really personable.
You are.
But
you're very,
he was like, I like you. And I would love to be able to help you if you had something else going on to kind of pitch to my brother kind of deal.
Sure.
And I was like, I have nothing. And he was like, oh, it's going to be really hard for you. And I was like, damn it. And that's when I moved.
Huh. Where did you move?
I moved to L.A.
Oh, fuck yeah.
2015, I moved to L.A. and I was there until 2017.
Wow.
And then 2 months after I moved back from L.A., I was like, I'm going to New York. And so I went to New York.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's I want to get better and I want to be in the right place to get better.
Sure.
And when I was in L.A., it was a lateral move because it was 4 hours away. It was easier to do.
Sure.
But I never felt challenged in L.A. I realized LA was like, people just laugh at you because they saw you in a commercial, not because you're funny. And you're like, that's dumb.
Right.
And you go to mics and stuff and you're not sure if you're actually good or not because they don't laugh or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I hear these things about New York where they say, New Yorkers will boo you. And you're like, hell yeah.
It's just some kind of reaction.
It's something.
Yeah.
And
good or bad.
Yeah, I was scared of New York, but a lot of LA people are scared of New York. And that's what I like too. I'm like, I'm going to go to New York. I'm like, I did New York.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I went to work my first day at work, and there was a mic down the street from my job. And I walked to the mic, and I signed up, and I did my little spot. And there was like 3 people that produced shows, and they were like, you were great. Can I put you on my show? And I was like, holy shit, I just booked 3 shows.
Yeah.
I'm funny. I had no idea.
That's so cool.
I mean, I knew it, but it confirmed it for me. Because I was in Harlem, by the way.
Wow.
I did my first mic in Harlem.
Wow.
I was like, oh, this is very urban. And I did it. So take that. So I have this desire now to kind of like I'll say this. I'm going to be kind of an asshole thing. When I do a lot of shows on the road, I think about the people that are watching and me being like, look at me, I'm cool. It's very vain and stupid. But I also like to grow as a comic, and I still have this urge to see things that I've always had. When I left high school and I went to college in Florida. That was my first time leaving home. I went all the way across the country.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing comedy then.
Yeah.
I just was like, I want to go far away
and
see how I do. So I still have that in me when I do comedy. It's like, ooh, I want to go to who knows people in Arkansas. I don't know. Then you want to go to Arkansas and just see what it's like.
Yeah.
And then hope you have a life experience that helps you shape your material for the next thing you do. But you also want to do it because it helps you connect with people. Because you find that if people can laugh at what you're saying everywhere,
yes,
you're doing good.
Yeah.
So that's the urge for me to travel now is like, I want to see if my jokes work. I want to meet different people. And also just like, what the fuck are y'all doing out here?
Yeah. What is this?
What's going on? You guys do cow tipping here? Someone show me this. What is this?
Yeah, you got so excited when I told you I live by cows.
Yeah, I was like, cows? What? Yeah, because it's not something that I'm not used to cows. But that's your reality, and I think that's cool to be like, I was around some cat. I didn't touch one. I should have touched one.
No, I mean, it's not too late.
it's cold, though. I was worried about them. Like, what are the cows doing right now? Are they okay?
I think about that all the time.
Right?
And I've lived across the street from those cows my whole life, and like, I guess they just cuddle up.
They just, I don't know.
Yeah.
See, just all that hamburger meat. Just
keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh.
Yeah, I love it. And were you? I mean, like, yeah, because you. I mean, it seems maybe it's not fair to say, but you got like a bit of a wanderlust, like you know, where you're kind of all over that. I mean, were you like that growing up, or was it just kind of like a flip that, like, or a switch that flipped, like?
I don't know. I think
once you moved,
my mom's from Trinidad and Tobago, and my dad's from Louisiana, and they got married in Germany. So I was always interested to be like, how did you end up there?
Yeah.
And my dad was in the military, and my mom worked at the nursing homes with the church. They took her there when she was 22 and was like, help us out with the,
Yeah.
It was during like the Vietnam stuff or whatever. But like, I always thought that was interesting how those two people met in the most random place.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, generally this is a podcast where I ask about dads, but I mean, your mom sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And you mentioned her in your act, Phyllis.
Phyllis. Yes, Miss Phyllis.
And I feel like it would be remiss to not like talk a little bit about Phyllis.
Okay.
And so what? Yeah. So she's Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's from there. And she moved to America in 1971, I guess. They left because my dad's from Louisiana, and then they moved to Louisiana, and then they moved to Texas for a while. And my dad's best friend ended up going to Vegas for work, and he called and was like, you guys should come here. You guys can get jobs.
Yeah.
And so my mom came here. She doesn't have any family here. She's the only one. You know what I mean? And I think that story is so interesting.
Yeah, what it takes to just pick up and move.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think she had maybe she did. I should probably ask her if she had this same kind of urge to kind of go see. You know what I mean? Because she works in the healthcare field, and I do too.
Yeah.
Or initially, she likes to help people, and I do too. And then she kind of left home and went to a whole different country. You know what I mean? At a young age.
Yeah.
I have to ask her if she has this kind of wanderlust thing going on too.
Yeah.
Maybe she does, and I got it from her.
Have you ever been to Trinidad?
Yeah, I've been maybe 3 times now.
I mean, what's that place like?
It's bananas. I went and did Carnival.
Oh, no shit.
The first time I went, it was me, my mom, and my nephew. He was like 5 years old, and we went. It was like in August, but there was some big, like, I think it might have been like the anniversary of their emancipation from London or some shit, or France. They speak this weird like mix of like French and the Queen's English, because they're the people that were like in their country being colonizers, whatever. So sometimes they're like, we're going to a fete, and I'm like, what's a fete? Fete means party in France. I'm like, oh, cool. You guys speak French words sometimes. Or they say, I'm getting really vexed. I'm like, what's vexed? I'm like, I'm upset. I'm like, that's cool.
Oh, okay.
So it's this weird mix of like both of those things.
Right.
But I went there and we did Carnival one year, and I got my first sunburn, first and only. I didn't know we could do that. My whole life thinking this is a white person's problem with sunburn. You should put some sunblock on white people.
Which is wild, growing up in Vegas, like in a desert. Yeah.
Well, I think we limited our sun exposure because it was fucking hot.
Oh, sure.
But when you're a kid, you have no idea how hot it is. I think it was right before I turned like 12 or 13. Then I was like, it's hot. But when you're like 7, you're out there all day.
This is life.
Yeah, you're out there just pulling up the sidewalk or the tar in the street. You're frying eggs. You're doing what you have no idea how hot it is. And then you hit like your little hormonal phase. And you're like, it's fucking hot out here. I am not going outside anymore. So I there's no sunburn after a while. You just you play, you drink water out of the water hose, and then you go play some more.
Just have a good time being a kid.
Yeah.
So you get a sunburn. You're at Carnival.
Didn't know I was getting a sunburn because you start your day at like 7:00.
Okay.
And you meet because you're in a parade. You got your costume on. Some people have those ridiculous wings.
Oh wow.
And you're doing the whole thing, but you have a liquor truck.
Okay.
You know, this plastic mug they give you where you can just keep getting unlimited booze. Unlimited booze, and then you have a pee-pee truck. They kept calling it a pee-pee truck.
That's funny.
It's this big fucking truck with porta potties on it, and you're part of a parade, so it's moving. Right? So you're dancing. You got your own truck with like a DJ, these huge speakers, and they're playing all the songs. So you're dancing, you're drinking, and then you get on the pee-pee truck while it's moving and take a little pee-pee, and you jump back down. You get some more booze. It's like all 16 hours.
Whoa.
Sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
And it was right around like the 4 p.m. mark. My cousin was dancing behind me. She put her hands on my shoulders, and I was like, that hurts. And I didn't know why it hurt. I was wearing a backpack all day. And I was like, maybe my shoulders were tired from like having a backpack on all day. Because that happens.
Yeah.
No. We get to the house like very late, and I get in the shower. I was like, no.
What is this?
I mean, even in my mind, I was still like, what is that?
That's
and
so
it wasn't
funny.
until like maybe like an hour later, it was like, you got a sunburn, bitch. Your black ass got a sunburn. But I think it's like close to the equator or below it or something. Who knows? I'm not good at geography or anything. I'm from America. They don't teach us this kind of shit.
It's a different kind of sun.
Yeah, they don't teach us that kind of shit. So I don't know why I got burned, but whatever.
That's wild.
But Trinidad was a lot of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I imagine like getting into like hour 7. You're just like, I'm so tired of dancing, but I can't stop dancing. Like, just make it stop.
The trick is that they have fast-paced songs.
Okay.
And then they have slower ones. So when they want you to get hyped, they play the really fast shit. So you're jumping up and down. And then when it's time to chill, they keep you in a nice little slow. Yeah. It's a nice little.
Fucking Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
This bullshit.
Yeah. Because then we stop for a little bit and then we eat. So it's a whole, maybe an hour where the trucks are not moving. And everybody's eating. There's still music playing. So you're free to dance if you want to. But everybody's just like on a curb, like, thank God. But it was so fun, and I want to do it again. I want to do every carnival though, but that's too many.
That's a lot.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Bahamas has one.
Dude, what was like? So you're there with your mom.
Yeah.
Was she just like this is like? I mean, like, did she just like come to life?
The first time I went with my mom, it wasn't carnival. It was just something else. But she's so funny. My mom is an older mom, so I feel like she's always kind of like conservative.
Sure.
She's kind of letting open now that she's older, and I kind of like fuck around with her and talk about dildos and stuff. And she's always like, ew. But also, what's that? Like, she's she's curious, but also like, you're gross.
Right.
But we were there. She spent a lot of time with her parents, and then I went out with my cousins a lot when I was there. We went to like this little beach, and my mom came with us, and we kind of drove around and went to a certain place, and she's met some of her friends. Very like chill when she's there. I don't think she's ever done carnival, actually.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think she's ever done it.
She's probably like, this is tourist.
I think
bullshit.
she's gone and watched the parade, but I don't think she's actually been in it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because you got to pay to do it.
Do you?
Yeah, you got to buy the costume because you're a part of a band. And every band has their own different look. And you can't, like...
I got you.
Yeah.
So you have, like, a troupe.
Yeah. It's very organized. But, yeah, that's why you get to drink all day because you pay for it.
Oh, okay. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's a cruise on your feet. It's lots of marching.
Yeah.
So the first time we went... it was chill. I got to meet all my cousins and my grandparents and all that kind of stuff. Because my grandmother I haven't met before. And then she was a real, goodness. God rest her soul. What a firecracker that old lady was. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was hanging out with my cousins a lot. And the next time I went, my mom didn't go. But it was just me by myself.
Yeah.
And I got there at like 11 o'clock. And it was right around Carnival. They had a party that started at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And it was my mom's idea for me to go. She like called my aunt and was like, how come they're not going to the party? And they were like, I don't know. I was like, is there a party we're not going to? What's up? Why are we not going? My mom wants me to go to this party. And she never wants me to go to the party.
Yeah, what's that about?
She wants me to experience all the things.
That's
and
wild.
so we ended up riding in this small little taxi to this party at the top of some hill. And it starts at midnight, and so it's not over till like noon. And they're like spraying the crowd with like a fire hose. Everybody's drinking Jack Daniel's Black Label or whatever it is. What's that? Was it Jack Daniel's? No. What's the other one?
There's
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker
Black Label. That's
Black
they like to drink.
Label.
They like to drink that a lot over there.
Really?
They do.
Okay. It seems like a weird
It
choice,
is.
But yeah, okay.
I was like, this is gross, but okay. At the most swollen ankles and feet from standing all fucking night and sitting on the plane all day. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, that's a weird.
But it was fun. It was my mom's idea, though. You should take my daughter to a party and let her experience.
That's so funny.
The thing.
Do you think, like, because I mean, you're very open about your dating and your relationships and everything. Do you think there's like a weird conservative part of her that's like, I hope she meets a guy?
Oh God. I think she does. I think she worries the most about me.
Yeah.
She calls me her wayward child because I'm always like, okay, bye, I'm leaving. And like, I don't want to get married, Mom. I don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
I always say that. And I think she's accepted that I don't want them.
Sure.
But she also has like 4 grandkids from her other 2 kids.
Oh,
so it's like, what do you need me to do?
You don't really need me for anything.
You don't need me to do that. But I also think she thinks it would be cool to like see me with somebody and like have babies. I just think every parent wants to see that, I guess.
I mean, I think that might be like something to do with her generation, because that was like this probably the sign of success. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you.
It also means that you have to sit down somewhere.
Right.
Let me trap my child with the baby. If you have a baby and a husband, you can't do all this shit you're doing, and they ain't got to worry about you.
Yeah.
Since you don't have a man, now I got to be your man and worried about you.
Right.
Somebody has to worry about you.
That's interesting.
And
that's
I'm like,
fascinating.
yeah, that's what I think she does. She worries about me all the time.
Right.
But then she calls me her son.
That's funny.
She says, "Oh, she waits for me to come back home to fix shit."
That's funny.
Like, something could be broken for months. She's like, leave that for Shanna. She's going to come here and she's going to know what to do. It's like, you have 4 nephews. Your oldest is 17, or grandson, I'm sorry. The oldest one is 17, and he's a fucking nerd. Ask him to fix stuff.
Yeah.
She waits for me to do it.
That's so
It's like,
funny.
how long has it been broken?
Yeah.
And it's always an easy thing, but I'll fix something. She's like, thank you, Shanna, my daughter, my son. I'm like, fuck you. I am like a little boy, though.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like running around doing whatever, and I'm handy.
So her other, I mean, she has all daughters, is that?
No, she's got 1 son and 2 daughters.
Oh, okay.
My brother is the oldest, and he has 1 kid. They live in Texas.
Okay.
And my sister's got the 3 boys, and she's the middle child, but she's not handy.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I took after my brother, I guess. But it's my mom's fault that I think it's my mom's fault I'm single, because she's very much like independent and making sure you don't need to ask for help. And I'm very hard when I ask for help. I'm always like, oh.
She almost did like too good of a job, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It backfired.
Are you the youngest?
I am. I'm her youngest. I'm my dad's middle. That's a lot going on with that.
Sure. Well, we'll get into that in a minute.
But I'm her baby. But yeah, I think there was a time period where it was just like, you got to make sure you have your own stuff. You don't want some man to control you or have be in charge of the money or have your own secret stash. If something happens, you can leave.
Yeah.
Like, be able to carry your own weight and be able to change tires and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be resourceful, know how to do it. And then, but I think you're right. It did backfire, because now when we talk about dating sometimes, she's like, you know what, Shanna, you're too independent. Sometimes you got to let him open a jar for you. And I'm like, why the fuck?
Just give him that little thing.
Yeah, it's like, how does that help him?
Yeah, right.
He knows I'm doing it because I'm like, fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel good that I'm asking for help, because he's like, you bitch, you know how to open a jar.
Just throwing him a bone.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy about it. He's not getting a boner because I'm giving him a pickle jar to open.
I mean, you'd be surprised. We're like,
oh, you need me for something?
I mean, we're very vain creatures, us men.
Me
like,
too.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That's real. Yeah,
I have man energy.
Yeah,
oh God.
One girl I'm talking. I know she works out. Like, she's really strong. And there was a heavy thing that needed to get picked up, and I know she could have done it. Like, I know she could have lifted it. She's like, "Can you get this for me?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I put it up on the shelf, and I felt like such a fucking man. And I'm like, I know she did that, but you know what? I'm going with it.
You felt like a man.
Yeah, and but in that moment, like, she's the one manipulating me,
right?
And I'm just
you're aware of it.
Yeah. It's a method of control. I
also think for me, it's because I look the way I do. I'm already intimidating to people, and I think that was part of my armor. Was like, well, it's going to be harder for you to date anyways, so you better figure out how to do your own shit.
Sure.
If you do meet somebody who can help you, don't be a bitch about it.
Yeah.
But I'm always a bitch about it. I'm always like, I can actually do that too. And it's like, no, it's like, you are just here to buy stuff and lay the pipe.
You're very upfront with all of that too.
It's not good though. Being upfront is not good. I think there's a way you can say it, and I haven't figured it out yet. But also, it's like, I'm not looking for a relationship. Yeah. I'm never looking for it though.
Yeah,
like,
you don't
sometimes
need that
I'm like, this is like it's an accident. Like, oh, I guess we're together now. We've been hanging out a couple of times, but I'm like the dude, because I don't have the what are we talk, or I don't even have the urge to have the talk.
Yeah.
I said, we are where we are when we're hanging out.
Yeah.
We're hanging out right now, and then I don't know.
Right.
But sometimes I'll get in trouble because guys are like, oh, I thought you were my girlfriend. I'm like, you did? You gotta talk. You better speak up.
Yeah, right.
Because I am not thinking that at all. I thought we were just doing whatever we're doing right now.
Having a good time.
Yeah. But see, men are like, I like things to be casual, no labels. And then you're like, cool, no labels. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Now you're doing me.
Yeah.
They don't like that. It's like, well, shit, I don't know. So I don't mind having the conversation. I like rules.
Sure.
If there's like stuff that you don't like or whatever, I'm like, okay, I won't do those things.
Sure.
But you definitely can't expect me to know.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But that's a man's point of view. Mm-hmm. Women always expect men to be like, you couldn't tell that I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you thought that I was your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I didn't. Is that what you do with girlfriends? That's the thing. I don't know what the roles are.
Yeah, I mean, because we're already like shitty at communication.
Yeah.
And like, and so I think it's in lieu of communication. Sometimes we will we will have expectations.
Yeah.
You know, and like, but you're right. Like, if we're not saying these things out loud.
Yeah.
But then you're also coming at it from the same angle as us. So
right.
I mean, that's a curveball in and
it's
of
weird.
itself.
Yeah, because then you become the chick and you're all like, you don't call me. You don't text. And I'm like,
yeah, it's a mess. It's tough. Do you feel like you're a good communicator?
No.
Nah, yeah.
I think it depends. I think I'm much better if I write things down. I'm much better at like sending an email.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because then I have time to process what I want to say, and then you have time to process it and then say something back. When it's like face to face, I'm looking at body language, and my body language is terrible. Like if you're being annoying, I am rolling my eyes so fucking hard, and it's not the best.
Right.
I'm like, what you're saying is stupid, which you shouldn't say.
I mean, I'm the worst at in-person communication too.
Everybody is. It's really challenging.
Because I think because it gets so like emotionally charged.
Right.
And you're just saying.
It takes a lot to kind of
bullshit.
sit there and be quiet and listen. It takes a lot of work, which is why I like to write things down.
Yeah, listening is hard. Like,
it is,
way
especially
harder.
when they're saying some bullshit. Like that's not okay. And I'm rolling my eyes hard. Ugh.
I actually got one of the best pieces of like relationship advice I ever got. Wasn't even relationship advice. It was like some bullshitty like bit of like corporate speak. Like because I was a manager at the job I was working at, and one of the bits of training they gave us when like one of your subordinates came to you with like a problem was like if they feel something, you can't really argue with a feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great relationship advice. Like if you feel this way, I can't argue with how you feel.
Right.
But we can talk about why you feel that way.
Sure.
And so I was like, man, that was one of the best. It wasn't even meant to be relationship advice.
But all of them are ships.
Sure.
All of them. You got a working ship. You've got a friendship. You got all of it. So you should. Someone said to treat your relationship like a business.
Oh, whoa, yeah, that's one step further. Yeah.
Right. Because you don't want your business to fail. So you spend a lot of time looking at all the problems in it and trying to fix the problems and communicating openly with your subordinates or coworkers.
Right.
Yeah, you got to clock in every day and see what's going on. Like, and I was like, ugh, I don't want to.
We're just going to be unemployed.
Man, I don't want to have a business.
That's wild.
Jesus. But it's true. It takes a lot of work. And I'm just like, do I even have the willpower?
Yeah.
It's okay for like a little bit. There's just small doses of like, this is nice.
Yeah.
But like if someone's like, I want to be with you all the time, it's like, oh my God, I'm leaving. I have to be on the road for the next 4 days. So.
Yeah, and it's just like the text messages, and you're like,
well, my thing too is I only had one boyfriend, and I met him at 24.
Oh wow!
So before that, it was just a bunch of fuck buddies, getting real confused about what their positions were in my life. It's like,
sure.
No, you're in line.
There's a totem pole.
Yeah, it was just weird. It's like, oh, I'm going to the movies tonight. It's like, with who? I'm like, a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were my girlfriend. I'm like, you didn't take me to the movies. What?
Yeah. You're not a movie guy.
Right?
You're a mini golf guy.
Yeah, not even that. Like, you was just fucking your car. I'm like, this is dumb. So that's my attitude toward relationships, too. It's all skewed because it never started out like real ones. It was always like, this is just some mutual beneficial thing. And then you don't have to talk to me in public if you don't want to, because I don't want to talk to you either. I actually don't want people to know why I talk to you.
Yeah.
Which is not how relationships work. You should probably hold someone's hand.
Yeah.
But even when I was dating my boyfriend, it was like weird because he was just super jealous all the time. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was times where I would get jealous, but I never acted on the jealousy. I think jealousy is a natural kind of thing, but it's what you do with it.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not going to act like a crazy person because people like you.
Yeah.
You're a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
I hope that people would like you.
Right.
And I would hope that you would make the right decision if something happened.
Yeah.
Or,
that's fair.
If you do something, there's nothing that I can do to stop it. I'm at home or whatever. Like, I can't.
Right.
And if anything, acting crazy just pushes you over there.
Totally. And and that's the trust thing. And the trust is the trust is the hardest part, you know, like and to like, I mean, it's a well-trodden, it's been said a million times. It's like so hard to gain and so easy to lose.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, that was like all of my longest term relationships all eventually dissolved over trust, you know, and it was like, if we don't have this, then we have nothing.
Sure.
You know? And so, yeah.
It's just so weird for me because I feel like I understand people's behavior more. So I'm like, if you go out and you meet somebody, I would at least hope you say you met somebody.
Right.
And then I can make a decision from there.
Right.
But I don't expect you to be like pushing bitches in the face when they talk to you. Like, nah, I got a girlfriend. Psh, psh. I don't think you're doing that. That's dumb. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's a lot of attractive people and you might be enticed in some way. And then it's up to you to make the decision on that. And I think being understanding is also a problem for men. It's like, oh, you're not going to act crazy over me? It's like, no. What does that do besides make me look stupid?
Right.
No.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes the trust isn't even about like infidelity or it's like my last big relationship broke up because I couldn't trust her not to like get blackout drunk and drive. You know, like, and that was a thing that we argued about a lot. And I was like, I don't want you fucking dead. Like, I don't want to have to explain to my kid why you died.
Right,
like, you know, and like,
there's so many levels to what you're doing.
Yeah, and so it wasn't even about her like going out and sleeping with other dudes. It was just like, I can't trust you to not kill yourself.
Right.
And
that's
so,
some other shit.
Yeah, and so it's trust is hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have problems trusting people initially, but I also don't think I'm not surprised if stuff happens.
Sure.
Because I just think whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, now what do we do?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't make me a good girlfriend, I guess. I don't know.
That's real.
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Well, this is we went way down the relationship rabbit hole.
We went down a lot of rabbit holes.
Yeah, we went.
But I think it's why though. I think a lot of that stuff's because my dad is like that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like you're Shanna Christmas.
Yeah.
And this is a podcast where we talk about dads.
Yeah.
And you have a dad.
I do have a dad.
You do. I always like to start from like the very beginning. Which is, so where did your dad grow up? You mentioned Louisiana.
He grew up, I believe they said he's born in Oak Ridge, Louisiana.
Uh-huh.
It's a really tiny town. I guess the closest store was like a 3-mile walk away from the house.
Wow.
It was pitch black and they would eat possum and shit. Like, you know.
Oh, shit, huh?
You know, just standard down south stuff.
Yeah.
You know, roadkill delicacies. But I think he was like maybe almost the second to the youngest out of 7 or 9. 9 kids, 9. My dad's side of the family, I'm really not sure about everybody.
That's okay.
I'm out of the 3 kids, I know more about my mom's side of the family than my dad's. My brother and sister went to Louisiana a lot when they were younger, and I was just kind of. I think my first time I didn't get to go. I had chicken pox.
Oh, okay.
So my brother got to go, and I didn't get to go. So I didn't meet any of those people.
Oh, sure.
And as an adult now, I've met some of my cousins and stuff, but my dad's brothers and sisters have passed away and stuff, so I've missed a lot of meeting my uncles and aunts on that side of my family. And my grandma was dead before I was born, so yeah.
Do you have any idea what kind of a kid was he precocious? Did he like play a lot of sports? Like,
oh, I don't know.
No, that's okay.
I feel like I don't think my dad played sports. I do think he joined the military at 16.
Oh, okay. Whoa, that's really young.
He was, I think there was still like cotton being picked on the farm he was working. It was, I don't know. It was different.
Yeah,
my dad's 70 years old.
Yeah, because he's growing up in the South at a pretty crazy time to be growing up in the South, it seems like.
Yeah, and so then he left there because he wanted to join the military because he needed money.
Sure.
And I think he may have been just like a regular little bad kid. I feel like if anything, he was like me because now that there was a 10-year period where I didn't talk to my dad as an adult because he and I are so much alike and it just got so annoying. Trying to talk to him was like trying to talk to me. And I was like, I don't like that I'm seeing myself in you because I don't want to be like that. And so there was a while where I didn't even talk to him. But I would imagine those things that I didn't like about my dad is also things there's stuff I do like where I got his charisma and the ability to get anyone moist. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I know you're joking right now, but was he a pretty charming guy?
Of course, he still is.
Yeah. Oh.
My dad can walk into anywhere and make friends. He He's got this energy. He's always joking with people. That's the best way. You just make a little comment and someone laughs. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Dudes and women, they all laugh. And
And I will say that's the power that every black man has over me. When they laugh at my joke, I'm like, oh.
Validation.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I'm sure they're just like humoring me every time. But I'm like, no. Yeah.
Someone black laughed at my joke.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Literally, I will do anything for you. I will kill for you. You laughed at my joke. Anything you want.
Yeah, my dad can be at the doctor's office and he'll have people giggling in the lobby.
Yeah.
He's just one of those dudes. And I'm like that too. I just walk up to people and say shit depending on what's happening. I remember being in traffic one day and some lady was driving a Jeep and she had some like zombie looking skeleton in her back seat. And I blew the horn and I was like, hey, you got something in the back of your car. And she like looked at me like, what? And then she started laughing. Right there in traffic.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I got from my dad is 100%. To be able to just go into people's shit and just say stuff and make them laugh.
I mean, and what an invaluable weapon for you, like as a comedian on stage, because you're so good at that. Like you're very good. I mean, it's crowd work, yes, but like you make a fairly deep connection with these people, and you're very good with names. You're very good at remembering everybody's name that you talk to.
Sometimes I forget. I might remember something that you said, and I might just call you that thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But I mean, you had everybody's names like at last night's show.
Yeah,
like you know, is that? I mean, is that your dad?
I think so. I feel like I get a lot of that cool shit from my dad. Maybe remembering it. I think I try to commit more to remembering names because I always feel like really nice when somebody remembers mine. Especially when you just meet, you like say hi for like a brief second, and then there's all this stuff, and then now you go, "Nice to meet you, Dave."
Whoa.
Out of all those things, right? I met you an hour ago. You did your comedy, and then you still knew my name. That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
And so I like that feeling when people remember who you are. So I think I try to give people that back.
Sure. Yeah. It's just kind of a basic level of human respect.
But I think my dad, he might have given me that too. Yeah.
So he's 16. He joins the army. It sounds like money. Was he trying to like get away from?
I think it might have been both. You know.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna say this. For the most part, I feel like people who join the military are doing it because they're in poverty. And they don't want to be where they are.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like no one's like signing up to go get murdered in wars, because they love America.
Right.
What? Because they used to have a draft. It was like, you better come and get murdered. It's like, nah, I'm not going. It's like, well, you're going to jail. Okay, in jail in America? Fine. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and that's the one, like, I'm not a guy that is like pro-military industrial complex, but that is one argument I have heard about government spending on the military, which is, it is one of the biggest opportunity producers for people like coming from a disadvantaged
but that's why they do it. It's like, oh, are you poor? Well, if you come here and fight for us, we'll give you money for school.
It's predatory too.
Yes,
100%.
Yes, instead of we'll give you a job. No, you got to come over here and almost die. Or do die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what else you gonna do?
Right.
Yeah. So it's either that or go to jail when you're poor. So I think he joined the military because he wanted to get out of Louisiana and try to make some money and whatever, and maybe travel, right? That's another big selling point. I've never been to Germany.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, just you mentioned he's 70. Is that?
He's 70. Yeah. He's born in 1948.
So like he's right in the thick of fucking Vietnam.
Yeah, he went.
Holy shit, he went to Vietnam.
Yeah. I think he went and he came back and then he went again because Vietnam lasted for a long time. Right. So he was stationed in Frankfurt or whatever. I don't remember, but he went. He told me this. I've been trying to get like details on my dad's life.
Oh, it's all right. I mean,
but he went for a couple of years, then he went back to Germany, then he went again, and then he left.
And that's in the midst of all that, he meets your mom. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did they ever talk about that?
He doesn't, but she does. Well, my dad's married again to somebody else, which is also another. He's married to the woman my mom used to babysit.
Oh God.
So
that's weird.
He doesn't talk about my mom in front of her because duh.
Yeah.
But
that's wild.
Yeah. Ooh. My dad, this is a piece of shit. My dad's a piece of shit. But me too.
But a charming piece of shit.
Me too, though. That's the thing.
And,
it's like, yo, you are not a good dude.
Yeah.
And then I'm always like, I would fuck this up.
Yeah.
Like my dad. Mm-hmm. So I try to keep people at bay.
Sure.
But yeah, he met her there, and she tells me how they went to some club and some like little lounge, and she's like, they were smoking that hashish, and he wanted me to smoke some, and I was like, I don't want to, and he was like, try it, and then she's like, this is gross, and she tried it, and she was almost dying, choking to death. He thought that was so funny, and I was like, oh my god. And it's so funny to me. It's like, Mom, you liked Dad?
Yeah.
It's such a different personality.
Right.
But I think my dad is such a big personality, and like you kind of just he makes you laugh.
Yeah.
And he disarms you.
Right.
So I think she's just kind of like, well, he seems nice enough.
And do you feel like that personality for him was developed just being in a big family, or was there something real special about him, like in particular?
I think for some people they use humor as a defense mechanism.
Sure.
Sometimes you use it when you feel awkward about meeting new people, so you just say something funny. Right. Or I would have to ask him. I feel like he might have just been one of those little kids that was like that too.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if it's his defense mechanism, I mean, it would make sense that it would be so big because his defense must have had to have been so big. Like growing up in the South when he did, which is a traumatic experience in and of itself. And then he gets shipped off to Vietnam.
Yeah, he saw a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like if tragedy breeds comedy, then it's there's a lot of tragedy being just fucking thrown, so I can see where, like, if that's his defense, of course he's gonna have this insane personality.
He's so good at it,
and big personality. Yeah,
he's so fucking cool.
Is he?
I mean, I don't think well, whatever. It's just so weird when you see your parents and you see where you got your parts from both of them.
Yeah.
And my mom is like a quiet funny. Like she's not overly outgoing. She's 5'11", but she's quiet. But okay. If you could be in a room somewhere and my mom will have 3 people like dying, and she's not trying to be funny. It's just what she's saying is funny.
I love those.
And she's always like, I'm not trying to be funny. It's like, she's so stupid. It's like, this is how I feel about this thing.
Right.
But the way it's coming out is so funny to people.
Yeah.
As opposed to my dad, I think he tries to be funny. Me too, sometimes. I have both, though. Sometimes I'm not trying to be funny. People are laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing at this? Right. So I get that too, but also I'm always like, and here's the thing I'm going to do, and you're going to laugh.
Right,
like it's very controlled.
I can be the clown too.
Yeah. So I that's a cool thing to kind of realize you got from both of your parents.
Right.
But
were they together when you were growing up?
My dad left when I was 8. And then. And thank God, my dad was an alcoholic for most of my childhood. I mean, who can you blame him? Like,
sure.
He saw a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But he was a hot mess. He would just be drunk and coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning and waking us up to wash dishes and shit. And it was like, this motherfucker is crazy. It's Tuesday.
Wow.
We have to go to school.
Yeah, dad's up washing dishes.
Dad, you wash the dishes. These are your dishes, weirdo. Like, or just passing out on the couch.
Oh, he would wake you up to tell you to wash the dishes?
Yes. He would wake us up to wash dishes.
I thought he was doing them himself.
No. He was terrorizing us and just making us wash dishes in the middle of the night.
Shit.
Or passing out on the toilet.
Oh, wow.
Just drunk. Just passing out in his car in the driveway.
That's wild.
Yeah, he was a crazy drunk back in the day.
Yeah.
So my mom used to always say that I handled the divorce well. And I was like, to be honest, I was just happy that he was out of the house. He was so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then he ended up getting a DUI or 2 or 3, and they put him in jail for a little bit. And he was like, how old? He was maybe in his 50s. And he went to jail, and he was like, these young kids were like, what you doing in here, old man? What are you doing in here? It's your first time coming to jail your whole life, and you're old? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, that's when I realized I probably should stop drinking. I was just like,
well, good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I remember finding a note I got from my dad when I was in high school. He was in jail, and when you're in jail, you find Jesus and all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
it's like, I never told you guys I loved you, and I'm sorry about that. I was like, all right. But of course, when he comes out of jail, he never says it either. It's just like the piece of paper. But that's why I say, for me, I'm better in writing, because I get that from my dad too. It's hard to say things when you feel like you should, but if you write it down, you go, all right. And then it's just weird. But jail happened, and then he cleaned up. But by then he already had another family,
Sure.
and that's why I didn't talk to him for a long time because he had a new baby when I turned 10, and I was like, I was okay with her. And then I remember her getting older, and she's like, I'm going to tell my dad. Like, he was my dad first. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't like this.
Sure.
I don't want to have to hang out with this girl that reminds me of something that, you know what I mean? So there was a while where I was just like, I don't even want to be bothered with any of them.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't.
And that's that 10-year gap. you're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about.
a big gap.
What was, I mean, like obviously before that 10 years you didn't talk. I mean, there was a relationship before and then a relationship now.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that relationship like now with your dad?
Oh, my dad and I are really cool now.
Okay.
Because I understand my dad. Some people go through their whole life, they want their parents to say one thing or to, I'm proud of you or I love you, or they yearn for that because they never got it.
Yeah.
And I think for my dad, he's never going to say those things.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think I want him to. I understand who he is.
Yeah.
And so if you call him on the phone, you get 5 minutes. And if you go to his house, you get an hour. And then that's all you can tolerate. And that's for both of us. You know, you're trying to watch TV. He's just watching a TV Guide channel. You're like, pick something. This is fucking annoying. What are you doing?
Yeah. And it's so funny you say all those things about your dad, and those are all things I could identify about you too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's all there. That's so funny.
That's what I said. There was a while where I was like, I don't like this dude because he reminds me of me.
Yeah.
And I don't like those things.
I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier and maybe I missed it, but like, does your mom acknowledge those things about your dad and you? Like, is that ever weird for her?
I don't know. I think when I was in my 20s and I would go out a lot and party, I think she kind of noticed there was a little bit of like, you drink a lot. It's like, yeah, but also I still go to work. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 20. I'm 21. I'm 20. I'm in my. I live in Vegas. You're supposed to. I think she probably notices a lot of it in me now, but also I think, like for how I have understanding for my dad now, I think she also has that for me.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
She kind of can like forgive it all through me because I forgave my dad. And so now we're all friends. Like he came by the house like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Just showed up. I was like, "What are you doing here?" His wife was like, "You should go by and see Phyllis." He was like, "What?"
Has he
a weird turn of events? Like,
I mean, he's. I noticed this because my dad is actually pretty close to your dad's age, and I've noticed him like really kind of like in his older age, like kind of softening up and getting more sentimental.
Of course.
Are you seeing that in your dad?
He is definitely more open to hugs because I force them. I've always been the most huggingest child.
Yeah.
My mom was like, I don't know where you got this hugging shit from. My mom doesn't hug. My dad never hugged us like that. They didn't grow up like that. They didn't grow up in affectionate childhoods.
Right.
My mom was like the second oldest out of 11, and he's the second youngest out of 9.
Oh, wow.
So it's like you're just kind of fighting for scraps. No one's giving you hugs, though.
Sure.
No one's doing that. She's like, I don't even know where you got this hugging shit from, but you're always huggy people. I'm like, I don't know, but take one. Take a hug.
Please, Mom.
Take a hug.
Does it hug your mom?
And now she's like, now when I come home, she's like, oh, my baby's here. And she'll like hug me. And so that's nice. I think it's kind of like you have to learn to get into it. So my dad's the same way. Like he won't say I love you, but he'll like hug me. Sure. And then I'll like hug him a little bit too long to make it really uncomfortable. Yeah. And he's like, oh God, all right, get out of here. You know.
That's great. I forgot to ask earlier, what kind of work did he do?
After the military, they moved to Vegas, and he was working as a porter in one of the casinos.
Oh, okay.
When he went to work, he was still very much drunk for a while. There was a story my mom told me about my dad, which is this thing now that I'm learning about my dad through my mom and how terrible he was, which makes me feel better about ignoring her for 10 years. Because the stories I heard, I was like, you were a fucking asshole. Like there was a time when my dad said that some woman he used to like when he was younger sent him a letter and was like, I want to see you in Texas. And he left my mom for 6 months to go be with this bitch in Texas. Whoa. Just left.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Now, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm bad, but I'd be like, you are a part of my past.
Yeah.
You don't pick up and leave for 6 months.
For a letter. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
So that kind of stuff I learned about my dad, and I'm like, God damn, you were worse than I thought. So bad. But when he would work, he did work at the casinos. My mom worked at Bally's. He worked at the Riviera. But for the most part, he wasn't working that much. You know, he was drunk a lot and whatever. And you know, they're all fucked up from the Vietnam stuff. So it's going to doctors and trying to get your life together. It's like. Whatever. Yes, so he didn't really do much outside of that as a kid. I only remember him working at the Riviera when I was a kid.
I got you.
Yeah, and they're so old. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just have this small little window of my parents working. It's not. It's like my whole life. It's like no, they were like close to retiring for most of my life. It's like she worked for 20 years. It's like no, actually it's 30 something years. Like well, I wasn't here for that. Like you know what I mean? Well, I don't know those years. Count. Yeah, I wasn't even born when that happened.
Well, this is actually I forgot to tell you earlier, but like there's a part of the show towards the end where I always like to ask for like a dad anecdote. I call them dadecdotes. And do you have like a particularly like funny or just memorable moment from childhood with your dad? Like
no.
Anything that really like sticks out?
I think the one thing that I that my dad does when I talk about how he's when you're on the phone with him, you get 5 minutes. He literally is like, "Time's up, gotta go." Or he'll say, "I don't want to talk to you anymore."
Wow, just
straight up,
just like that.
He hates it.
That's funny.
So that's what my dad does. I remember being on Facebook and somebody was like, "What's the best way of getting off the phone with somebody?" I'm like, "As my dad says, I don't want to talk to you anymore." And I'm like, God damn. I'm like, yeah, but you get off the phone.
Yeah.
People laugh at it because the way he says it's funny, but he's also like, I'm serious. Like, I'm hanging up now. I don't want to talk to you anymore. You're just like, all right.
It's hard to find that kind of directness today, and God bless him for it. But, Shanna Christmas, you've been so much fun today.
Yeah. This was fun. I liked chatting.
Yeah, you were great. Thanks. And so if people want more Shanna Christmas in their life, how can they get it?
Well, you can find me on Insta. Shanna Christmas, SHANNA. It's spelled white. It's not spelled wrong. It's just spelled white. I just made that up. Thank you. That's on Instagram and on Twitter. I barely tweet. I might delete it in case I get famous. I don't need those problems.
Yeah.
Same thing. And I'm on Facebook, Shanna Christmas Comedy. If you want to find me there.
Oh, man, you've been so much fun. Thanks again.
Oh, thanks.
You're the best, Shanna Christmas.
Bye. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
And we're back. Shanna Christmas. She was great, right? Follow her on all the social medias. Book her on your shows if you're. She's so funny, and just get more Shanna in your life. And as for me, you can follow me too at Dave Abkarian on all the platforms. That's DAVEAPKARIAN. Did you write that down? Because I just assume you always have a pen and paper in your hands, waiting to write down social media handles. I'll link it. I'll link all this in the show notes. What am I even doing? Yes. Sad Dad podcast at gmail.com. You can send me your dadecdotes if you have some dadecdotes. Rate and review on iTunes. And I think that is it, you guys. I will be back next week. I've got a great episode with a very funny comedian named Clay Newman. The way I describe Clay's podcast recording, I said this to him. It's like just a folksy, easy listening, I don't know, Mamas and the Papas album. It's so it's really fun to listen to, but it's just easy going, So yeah, that's great. And then after that, the following week, I have a great episode recorded that I'm going to release with I never worked with her before. She actually came up with Clay when he headlined our room this last weekend. Anique Adele, and she is originally from Germany. She migrated to the United States, and then she decided, after growing up in Germany her whole life and then moving to California, she decided to be a stand-up comedian, and she's very good at it. And her and I have a great episode. She reveals to me that I look exactly like her father, which was maybe a first in Sad Dad history. Some great episodes coming out with some great comics, and that is it. Thank you guys so much. Adios.